Hello there, Cody.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, let me just tune up the volume here. Let's see if I can hear you now.
Check
Hi.
that too. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
Loud and clear, loud and clear. So,
Beautiful.
welcome. Welcome,
Mhm.
Cody.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's been such a long time. It feels almost like it's been so many months, but it hasn't. It's actually just been 2 months. But yeah, I kind of missed you. I missed our chats here. So I'm so glad that we are back here on Gathering of Lights to do this chat today. Um, are you all right?
Yeah, fairly good. Nothing really major has changed. Yeah. But yeah, fairly good. And yourself? You doing good?
Well, major changes
Uh,
everywhere. Um,
mm,
because I was thinking about the topic here, dealing with the end of one thing and to start the start of the of another thing. So I guess that is what we all are
mhm,
going through right now, with an
mhm.
exception for you, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Well, the outside is definitely changing, but nothing really internally. No,
No.
major stuff internal. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're noticing that everything is chaotic around you too.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Welcome to the reality. Check on that one. Did you cut your hair?
Yes, I did.
Oh
Short now. Yeah.
my God. I didn't see that coming.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So,
Yeah. Well, I guess that is a rather big change. I usually have the very long hair. It was just getting a little too hard to take care of and really like kind of maintain and stuff like that. And so I kind of felt the energy shift of needing the shorter hair that I can properly take care of and kind of lighten the energy of my head and all that.
yeah. Do you feel any different now?
Yeah, there's a slight energy change where the longer hair had me a lot more grounded. I was like a little bit heavier, if you will, but not like heavy in a bad way. It was just more stable, if you will.
Yeah.
And the lighter hair definitely makes me feel a little bit less stable, a little bit more airy, you know. And so I'm kind of happy to really relearn how to ground intentionally rather than have my hair be the grounding that is kind of doing it, unconsciously or whatever. So,
Thank you for sharing that because people don't think that the hair actually has an energetic status, energetic power to what we are creating in our reality, but it does. It's so much energy within our body and bodies, and when we are changing it, we are also changing the energy around it. So that's thank you for sharing that. Uh,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Our hair is basically like antennae that can pick up energy and transmit energy. And so there's entire magic practice that revolves around hair. And so yeah, you can. It's pretty interesting.
Definitely. So if we're talking about hair for a bit more, everything you do with the hair, if you put it up in a bun or if you put
Mhm.
on a cap or what do you call it? Hats.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Stop it. A hat on top of the head. That has also to do with energy.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that could be one show later
Exactly.
on.
That can be a full thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Later on. So
Mhm.
the topic for today was the cycles of nine, dealing with the end
Mhm.
of one thing to the start of another one. Another.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you mean the cycles of nine?
Yeah, that one's it's a very interesting one, but it kind of seems self-explanatory to the at the beginning, but it can get deeper. The cycles of nine basically revolve around the numbers one through nine, and nine being the last number to where you can't go past nine. There is no number after nine. It is a reductory number to where any multiple of nine will reduce to nine. Any number that is past nine will also reduce down to the numbers between one and nine. So that's all you have to deal with. Therefore, there's cycles that go from one, two, three, all the way up to nine. Nine is the end, kind of symbolizing the completion of something, the completion of that cycle of one to nine, allowing for kind of this release of energy so that there can be a buildup of new energy for the next cycle to start back at one.
So it's like the end of, if you draw a circle, it's like you start on one, and when you complete the circle, it's 9.
Exactly, yeah. When you complete the circle, and even how it's written, nine, it looks like, well, I write it differently to where I kind of put that type of thing. But if you write it where it's like this, the cycle is kind of the circle. The nine represents you coming out of the circle and ending it. So you're ending the cycle, ending
Mm,
the thing, and therefore you can start again with new.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so the writing of the numbers, we do know that the writings are energetic too, and it keeps their own energy. So, but if we are saying that a circle is a circle and it's no beginning and no end to it, you can also get stuck within that circle, never
Mm-hmm.
getting out of that 9.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a complete loop to where you're just going, going, going. And that's if you're like kind of stuck within the other numbers, if like, um, if you're stuck on eight, which would be an infinity, basically you're
Yeah.
kind of continually going, the nine will get you out of the infinite and it will start you over again, you know?
So you can do like the 8 over and over again until you complete that one and move into the next step of the circle. So if you're, would you say that 9 is where we are right now in this ascension process?
Exactly. Yeah. Especially for this year. That's like why I really wanted to bring this subject up is the year 2025, 225 reduces down to 9. This is a 9 year. It's a completion year. So that we're trying to complete things, trying to have these energies to come together for an ending, and therefore with the ending, we'll start a new process. So this year is very important with kind of figuring out what you want to do next, kind of getting loose ends, kind of figured out, all that type of stuff, and kind of getting your energy ready for the next cycle. Yeah.
Interesting. I draw a card the other day, and it got the, let's see here what number it had. It actually had number 15. I don't know if you can see it there. Let's see if you can. No,
A little blurry.
it's of course, yeah, it's blurry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Decision, the name of it was Decision, and the the meaning of that card is almost like you described right now, the end of things, getting your energy together, your life together, and move forward into follow your passion, follow your strive and drive into something new. And but that is 6.
Yeah, six. Well, I do believe that six would be decision making is also a life number, so kind of is the life force, if you will. But I do know that number four is the actual number for transformation.
Mm-hmm.
So six would be kind of adding to it, adding life to transformation. Um, but yeah, it's decisions are very important within the ending of a cycle because you kind of get to choose where that cycle ends, like where uh, how you want to complete it, because the energies will be trying to gather it so that it is completed, but you still have the final say of how that is to be completed and then how it is to start again, how you want to start after the completion. So decisions are very important. Uh, Energy is very important thing to be considering this year. With a lot of things that are going to be happening, you're probably going to be having to make very quick decisions, very impactful decisions. So yeah.
Sort of.
Mhm. Yeah.
What do you are um like what?
Well, because the Earth itself, I wouldn't say the Earth, but the people on the Earth, the major powers, if you will, of governments and different nations, all that type of stuff, are going to be going through a lot of chaos this year. Therefore, you have to make decisions on: are you going to be kind of accepting that energy and bringing the chaos into your world, or are you going to try to kind of separate yourself from that chaos and focus inward, try to stable yourself. So it's kind of a choices of where your attention is during this year, because there's going to be a lot of distractions, a lot of things coming up that are going to make you like kind of lose focus of kind of stability of yourself, of coming into yourself. So yeah.
So these things that are going to take place this year,
Mhm.
um, can you be more precisely on what that will be? Or should we
Well,
guess?
it's going to be just lots of major I don't want to put too much negative energy into it, but a lot of changes within structure, if you will, a lot of changes within how we interact with different countries, all that stuff, how we, you know, if we're a bit more considerate of other countries, or if we're going to be closing our borders, or like really kind of isolating ourselves within each individual country, especially with the new president of the United States. He's already made some major changes, major, um, I guess, decisions, and so a lot of people are kind of uh, unsettled right now of what he's going to do and how that's going to impact the rest of us, because his decisions will affect a lot of people, and those decisions will also affect other countries, and they will make decisions a lot with that. And so it can be just a lot of upheavals of the old systems and kind of
Mm,
what we were used to and all that type of stuff. So kind of have to get ready for being able to adapt to something new and try to get something positive out of it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that we all can agree that we are in new times right now, and there
Mm-hmm.
is no country that doesn't feel the change of structure. Not so much within up here because we doesn't have any directly changes within our country that we are
Mm-hmm.
noticing right now, but there are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things happening close to our borders, and that is of course affecting us on a very close close way because we have never had this action taking place repeatedly so close to us. And we do know that other countries are now uh, coming into our territory just to be here to observe what's going on. So we do know that we are very close to a change of behavior, how we should react and respond to what's going on. We haven't lived through this in a very long time. So that is definitely a change, and that could be a bit scary to think of course. Uh, in a strange way, I don't think so many people actually, how should I say, are worried about it. Of course, there are people who are worried about it, but the most of people, yeah, we do know that is something going on outside and close to our border, but we are not feeling any consequences of it within here. Yeah, raising electricity
Mm-hmm.
bills, and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that are grocery that are not, yeah, they are more expensive now than they were before, but you know, not
Mm-hmm.
anything that is actually affecting our daily routine. And I guess that is what you are saying, that we are all, no matter where we are, going to feel those changes tightening in, so to speak, to no one is getting away from this. Everybody's going to experience some kind of changes, and probably have to reflect upon the ethic and the morality around the issues that are occurring.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of reflection, a lot of internal, like looking inside to what you actually are going to react or how you're going to react. And so making sure that you're not reacting emotionally or impulsively to really kind of know your core of like, okay, so this is happening. How do I want to reflect my own energy with it coming towards me? How is that going to affect me? How am I going to make decisions around this? How am I going to navigate this new arena, this new environment that I've been put into? You know.
Yeah. So that is definitely the end time of this, both the ascension process and how we are reflecting upon it. You mentioned that you had to, you didn't want to put any negative emotions into this conversation, and we of course shall not do that, even though we are addressing it. But yeah, now I
Yeah.
lost it.
Yeah.
Keep
Sounds
going.
good.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, 1 second.
Hmm?
Okay. Um, yeah, I was actually going to come back to the actual number nine itself and
Thank
how
you.
I kind of decided it was the border, of nine, of the cycles, if you will, of the actual numbers. But it actually is a little bit more uh, deeper, if you will, because it kind of represents the border of physicality as well. Because you can't get past it numerology or mathematically and all that stuff, but physics can't really get past it because the speed of light reduces down to the number nine. Speed of light is roughly around 186,300 miles per second. And so that reduces down to nine. Therefore, if you try to go past the speed of light, which is reducing nine, you're going to a complete new cycle, which would be a complete new dimension. You're going into past the physical reality dimension within this, speed of light, and everything is basically light. It's energy. It's all that type of thing. And
Mhm.
so it really is the kind of the symbol of where physical reality ends and a new dimension, a new reality begins. So always that's a really cool visual of how that cycle really kind of is impacting us or how we interact with that cycle to where if we try to go past number nine, you go into a completely new dimension.
Because the cycles are occurring at the same time. So even though we have this huge ascension process that we are all talking about, there are still some individual circles that we are processing within this giant circle of ascension. So everybody can experience their own
Yes,
circle
very
of
much.
nine.
Yes, yeah, it has multiple layers because there would be the year, the year that we're in cycle. So whatever number the year that we add up goes into, that would be the cycle that we're in, or the number of within that cycle. But then there's the personal one that you have, which would be like your actual age. If you take your age, add one to it, and then reduce it down, that would be the number within the cycle that you are in. And so then there's other cycles within the chakra cycle. Each chakra is kind of going up, and so each year you go through a different theme within your chakras, and then so that's another cycle of nine. The Western kind of take on it is more seven, but older versions or different versions do nine because of the chakra that is below the feet and the chakra that is above the feet. So it'd be a collection of nine. And there's like the your actual birth year, which would add into your overall theme, your overall cycle, for your life. And so yeah, there's many cycles kind of all intertwined into each other, just spirals upon spirals, coming up.
So that is the roller coaster that we were talking about for a couple of years ago.
Yes, yeah.
I spoke to Alexandra yesterday, and we talked about, you remember a couple of years ago when everybody was talking about this roller coaster of life, uh,
Mhm.
how the shit will hit the fan, and how we are going to proceed through this, the purging,
Mhm.
purging, purging. And
Yes.
everybody thought that we had way past that issue right now, and everybody was, moving in clean and into new
Hmm.
energy. And surprise, we didn't. So
Yes.
is that
Hmm.
the end of the cycle and the beginning of something
Hmm.
new? We are
Hmm.
walking through the fires of purging,
Yeah, for
purification
sure.
right now. Not literally,
Yes.
but yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It'll be the kind of get as much cleared as possible so that you can have a fresh start for the next one, the thing. And there's just a ton of different cycles that are happening. There's the 41-year cycle that happens within Earth. There's many different cycles. There's the number. Yeah, humanity's number is number five. So humanity as a collective, our number is five. Four is the number of transformation. So you put humanity transforming, you equal nine. So our whole kind of not purpose, or whole like I guess it would be purpose of being on Earth is nine. It's completing cycles. It's going through transformation with humanity as a whole to complete itself. You know?
So what can we expect from this transformation? I was kind of hoping that you would say that after we've been through this, everything that we talk about before, the how we are looking upon humanity and how we are looking upon ourselves in our countries, etc. We're definitely. I do believe that the outcome will be peace, um, that we are going to be surprised over how close we are together when we are standing together. So that is my vision. But I do know that we are probably going to be very pushed into this territorial, buffling before we are noticing that we are more like each other than we thought we were. So this transformation is for me something that is moving into unity and united energy in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's we kind of need the chaos before the calm to kind of unsettle everything
Mm.
so that it can settle down into a more unified thing. So the old structures need to kind of be crumbled, need to be chaotic so that we can organize ourselves in a new and more, unified way, more peaceful way. And within the chaos, there will be little lights, if you will, that are going to be more guiding for us. There'll be, new discoveries, new inventions made, new ways of thinking, all that type of stuff will come out of this chaos. And so those little lights will kind of give us a beacon for humanity to start kind of coming together a bit more, kind of let go of the differences that we might see between each other and all that stuff and kind of see like, oh yeah, that's just another person, not, enemy or,
Mm.
they're different or anything like that. So we'll get to see, and just within our consciousness ourselves is, the collective consciousness is steadily rising, all the time. And so eventually when enough people kind of get to a certain level of consciousness, we've already had that happen a while ago where a certain number was crossed. And now it's just a snowball effect that is just gathering more and more people, awakening, if you will, more and more people. The consciousness is rising faster and faster. And so it might seem like it's going to take forever, but it'll come faster than I think we realize, if you will. And it all depends on how your theme is going, what frames of reality you want to experience, what type of earth you want to experience. So it is a personal thing, even though it's happening on a collective scale. It's you within the collective that is choosing how you want to live life.
Do you think that this transformation is opening up for connecting to the galactic atmosphere, to the galactic
Mm-hmm.
humanoids?
Yeah, the galactic family. Yes.
Yes, the galactic
Mm-hmm.
family,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Do
Yes.
you
Yeah.
think that we will have this um, close-up meeting with the galactic family this year too?
I think this year is going to be a lot more recognition that there is something happening. I don't think there's going to be a full reveal, a full, open contact type of thing. It is definitely within the next couple of years that's going to happen. But I think this year is going to be more of a recognition that yes, we've already known about this. We kind of lied to you, like, the people that have the information. We kind of lied to you. They've already kind of done that before with different hearings and Supreme Court hearings and different people coming forward with evidence and all that stuff. But it never was true, like solid evidence for people to really be like, that's the aha, like, oh yes, that is it. It's always been something that can be dismissed or explained away, that type of thing. And so I think this year there might be a little bit more evidence, if you will, that comes forward that kind of lets the average person be like, oh, that's something,
Mm.
And I do believe most people can agree that there is some form of life out there and all that type of stuff. So that's where it's going to start. Is the common people that don't really focus on that type of stuff will start focusing a little bit more on that type of stuff, and they will trickle down into the people who are like really connected with the extraterrestrials or our galactic family, all that type of stuff, and they will have much closer relationship with them, much more contact telepathically, visitations on ships, and visitations in the sky, seeing more ships around, all that type of stuff. So there will be an increase of frequent sightings, frequent encounters, and all that type of stuff within the people who are really focused and have that vibration tuned to those people or to those beings.
So the encounters will be placed with out on the other side of Earth, so to speak, out of Earth, in other realms, in a atmosphere or stratosphere or whatever you want to call it. Um, so I was a bit surprised when the Air Force actually produced these pictures of flying objects that they couldn't identify, and there was a pretty lame reaction from
Yes.
humanity, and I was like, oh my God, it's on all the newspaper, like there's something, yeah, of course, something flying there. We can't identify it, and that's it. And people was like, oh yeah, okay, fine, and no one
Yes.
talks about it. And I always wonder what happened. That was a full disclosure that went public and with no response at all.
Yes. Yeah. Because it wasn't humanity gets very bored easily, I should say. They kind of want the new thing. They want more and more because we're so desensitized with so much, extra, if you will, that unless it's like a full video, like clear 4K video of a craft landing and some being walking out of the craft, it's not going to get people excited. They want so much or expect so much that a simple video of, a tracking of the very fast flying object and all that type of stuff is just yeah, cool, okay, next, type of thing. They just get bored. They're like, it's
New
not
video
exciting
game.
enough. Exactly right. They need to be excited. They need something to really grab their attention for them to really talk about it, to really have that big reaction. So yeah, it's gonna take a very substantial piece of evidence, really in your face type of evidence for people to really get excited about it.
And I kind of hope that it would be that kind of excitement in the end of this year, the encounters are actually to be taking place here on Earth for everybody to see. But yeah, well, I'm fine visiting a ship too, so that's okay for me.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot more, I think, dreams and all that type of stuff where it seems like you're dreaming that you're on a ship and all that stuff, but you actually are, maybe not physically, but your astral body is definitely on ships all the time. There's a lot of people that are actually on ships, but when they wake up in the morning, they completely forget about it because it's dreamlike, and you kind of do tend to forget your dreams pretty quickly. And so I think there'll be a little bit more remembrance of the times that you were on ships and all that stuff. So when you wake up, it's not a completely forgotten dream. You have a sense of like, oh yeah, I was there and I was doing this.
Mm.
So I think that's probably that's going to increase this year, I believe.
That's good.
Yeah.
That will be a new topic around the coffee table when
Yeah.
people are meeting up, sharing their dreams about spaceships. So we are definitely looking forward to that one. But
Hmm.
back to the nine, we are also in a time where the planets are lining up on a row, and you can see with your eye the constellation. So I have had a vision since I was a child, not a vision. I actually read it when I was a child. When the planets are lining up, there are going to be some huge changes on Earth, mostly with the weather and nature catastrophes. Or
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yes.
now we are here, and yeah, there is some changes within the weather, but it's not that huge, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah, it's not
tilt of
apocalyptic.
Earth as I thought it was going
Yeah.
to be. So
Yeah. Hmm.
what's
Yes.
going on? Well,
I
what
think
would you
it's just
expect?
it's much more gradual, if you will. There's going to be events, but it's going to be closer together than they were in the past, if you will. So it'd be smaller events, but what we call small, just natural disasters, like the major fire that happened in LA recently, that type of stuff, where that would be like a once in a century type of fire. It's, huge, hasn't done that in forever and all that type of stuff. That stuff is just going to happen more frequently. So it's not going to be some gigantic apocalyptic,
Um,
everything's destroying and all that type of stuff. It's going to be just a gradual building up of things happening one after the other, which is going to place humanity in a situation to where we have to be ready for anything at any moment and kind of get kind of used to being able to survive that type of stuff and helping people when the thing happens, not be so greedy or selfish, all that type of stuff. Really come together as a community and help each other when these disasters happen. So there'd be much more change in the way that we perceive others around us, our neighbors, and all that type of stuff. Where we'll be probably a little bit more aware of the people around us and our infrastructure and all that type of stuff. And so we kind of have to know what to expect, know what to do in those situations more and more, you know.
so you who are living in the States, do you have
Mhm.
a feeling that this was kind of a wake-up call into what you just mentioned, how people need actually to look upon the uh, the help that we bring to each other?
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. I think it was a major wake up call for a lot of people because, well, for some people, they knew that this fire was going to happen. It was just when, because
Okay.
just how LA was built is very dry. Its infrastructure is just not good with the water that is able to bring into the city so that it can be, fires can be taken care of quickly and all that stuff. So the people kind of had a feeling that something was going to happen for some time now. It was just the uh, circumstances kind of aligned so perfectly this time that it finally happened. It was super dry, super crazy winds, and nobody really knows where it actually fully started, but it was just probably some small fire in a person's backyard that, because it was so windy, the embers went this way and then caught something else on fire, and it just grows and grows and grows. And some people have been, very let's say like uh, responsive, and so they're like, oh, immediately go and help others and get neighbors out of the houses, can kind of warn people on type of stuff. But then there's others that just were like, oh, forget it, I'm not helping, I'm going to save myself and I'm just going to go out and other stuff. And then on the bigger scale, there's not much relief that was going towards LA. They're kind of trying their best, but they kind of put their hands up saying we can't do anything, because they don't have the resources for it. They don't have, the manpower and all that stuff. So yeah, it kind of was a wake up call for how we distribute resources, how we're able to execute using those resources, and yeah, that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's such a sad event that took
Mhm,
place, and I think
mhm,
that has brought the heart of humanity to focus up on LA uh,
Hmm.
simultaneously as it focus on other events taking place, Ukraine and Russia and etc. So it's a lot of those. It's definitely not the same thing. I'm not saying that, but
Hmm.
in this circle, I have noticed that everybody's going through the same process: grief, losses, um, and that is a global event taking place right now. We are
Exactly.
all
Yeah.
moving forward into that energy, moving through it. And but we are experiencing it in different ways. But the key word is loss and grief.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. I have a friend that lost their house in the LA fire. A couple friends that got displaced there,
Oh,
and so yeah, their entire house was burnt down. They have nothing left. They just had the clothes on their backs, if you will, And so
oh,
yeah, they lost everything. And so yeah, you can definitely feel the energy of grief and kind of like, well, that sucked. What do I do now? I
yeah.
lost my life. And so yeah, yeah, well, they didn't actually lose their life; they're still alive, but that type of thing, they kind of lost
Yeah,
their,
yeah. Your
the
whole
whole thing.
entire
Yeah.
life is
Mm-hmm.
up you is destroyed. It's destroyed. Even
Yes.
though you're alive,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
a shock.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something that you wish anyone to experience.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what
Yes.
kind of type of event it is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yes. Yeah. And
I
the
yeah. Sorry.
okay. Well, I was gonna say, and like how everybody's going through the grief and all that type of stuff. It is a collective energy that happens when some
Yeah.
major event happens. The rest of the world feels it, even if they have no clue that that thing is happening because it's just so big. And like the prime example was the 9/11 attacks, where Twin Towers got hit. The famous, random number generators that were all around the world all kept basically stopped being random and helped had the exact same numbers being produced, which kind of said that the entire world was having so much energy at that time because of that attack that we kind of all felt it. We all kind of had the energy go towards that thing. And so for the LA fire, I'm sure the exact same thing happened where the collective energy was feeling it. And so even if it wasn't affecting somebody on the other side of the earth, they were still having some effect
Yeah.
from that thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's almost like an energetic rippling
Mm-hmm.
within within the structure, the matrix, or not the matrix, a tissue issue on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
an etheric
Yes.
tissue, and
Mm-hmm.
we are all feeling it, and we are
Mm-hmm.
all going through the same thing, and I do believe that that is what is a part of this nine that we are
Mm-hmm.
being in. You know, if you haven't had the chance to work within yourself, when we talked a couple of years ago, or the whole world talked about how you should do the shadow work, get rid of every garbage you had. We talked about emotion. We talked about giving up. Change. To embrace changes, giving up work, friends, to move
Mm-hmm.
into this spirituality. I think that a lot of us interpret the purpose of what that actually meant, because now we are experiencing this loss of our life structure, friends, family, work, houses, whatever it is. So it's like the last thing that we need to get rid of is actually burned off in this process, because there is a fire, and fire is purging. So I do believe that we are in this final state of the emotional and physical purging before we are actually moving into something new.
Exactly. Yeah, it kind of starts within the energetic consciousness, so to speak, and goes down the levels until it hits physical. And then the physical can be the last thing that has to be put into fire and purged out. And so that stuff can be trickled down throughout the entire process. But the kind of last big one, when you have all the rest of the stuff kind of aligned and purged out, would be the physical reality reflecting the energy that you have within you, which is being purged out. Therefore, the physical has to reflect being purged out. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. When we're also talking about this transformation, I feel that we need to address the technology that is taking place in a rapid speed. You mentioned that there are going to be some new inventions, and we all do know that the invention is taking place all over the world, especially when it comes to the technology of the computer, the AI.
Yes, yes. AI is definitely rapidly accelerating at a pace that some of the makers, some of the creators of that AI have not taken it into account, if you will. It's getting out of hand, if you will. They can't rope it back, so it's just going forward. And so yeah, it's going to be one of those things that humanity as a collective has to decide how we react to it, how we interact with AI as well. You know, if the kind of the major choices are we going to use it as a tool, you know, that type of thing, and not give it sentience, if you will, or is it going to have sentience naturally, and we view it as an kind of a another being, as like just you know asking a friend to help, if you will, rather than using it as a tool. You're you know asking another being to see if they can help you with what the task is. And so we can't get those mixed up. You know, we can't say that if there's a sentience to that AI, we can't force it to be a tool, because then that just leads down a very bad path, you know, a very destructive path. And so there kind of has to be this balance of how we interact with the AI. And there's going to be programs that are coming faster and faster, new people coming out. You know, China just released their
Yeah.
yeah, deep, you know, yeah, deep seek. And so yeah, it is rapidly increasing. And so I think the only limiter is the actual devices themselves that are holding this AI is going to be the limiting factor to the AI program itself. And, you know, it's going to go as far as it can within that, you know, structure, that device, and it kind of will get stuck. But and so it's and there's just further and further innovation with making better, bigger, you know, computers. You know, bigger in a sense, they're going to be smaller, but
Yeah,
you know, faster. You
definitely.
know, but
Yeah. But yeah, but they are holding so much information and they're moving. I'm not sure where I'm standing in this process of this new technology because everything that has to do with the future, if we were going to travel into our galactic uh, space here, then we need to have AI, right? So we need to use this technology to move forward, even to get a better place here on Earth. You know, the hover cars that people are talking about, that is technology on a highly developed technology too. So in a way, we need to have it, but and actually, if they were producing a cleaning robot, you know, so we can have here do the dishes and folding the
yes.
laundry, I would certainly have one myself. But
Exactly.
as someone said yesterday when we were listening to and watching a documentary on TV about these robots that are multitasked within the household right now,
Yes.
and they are still working on them. Uh, he said, "Why do we have to have robots looking like humans? Because
Yes.
when you look at them, you are actually getting emotionally response to how they look.
Exactly. Yeah, it's one of the
Is that
weird things with
intentionally?
humans. Yeah, it's because it gives you more empathy towards them, all that type of stuff, so that you're
Mm,
not readily, you know, thinking that it can be destroyed and replaced. It kind of makes it a little bit more, yeah, more connection with it, and it makes it so that you will most likely purchase the thing because that's what the people that are making it are trying to get you to do is eventually purchase the item. And so it makes it more like, yeah, that's just like a personal made. That's just like a that, and kind of gives you this sense of like, oh, I'm rich and important, but also that it gives a familiarity of a thing that is in your house, like in your space. It's, might be a robot, but it looks human, therefore it's safe, that type of thing,
Mm.
or I feel safer with it because it seems more soft and it seems more, a human like, if you will. But I would say the main thing is like it can be humanoid in shape because the shape of a human can be very effective with doing the household chores and all that type of stuff, just because the house is built around humans. So the interaction with the house would be good for humanoid type robot. The thing that would be better is if you don't make the face. The face is where it's going to kind of be the big thing. If you're putting a lot of energy, a lot of resources into making the face look humanoid and all that type of stuff, that's where it can get very creepy, get very unsettling, all that type of stuff. But if you do kind of like the Tesla robot Optimus, where it's basically just a flat screen, there is no facial
Expression.
features or anything, yeah, no
Yeah.
expression, all that type of stuff, so it makes it more um, you feel more comfortable, you feel less creeped out by it, all that type of stuff, and the resources that would go into making the face structure and all that type of stuff go into the robot itself, the AI programming and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a big kind of dividing topic, if you will. Some people are really like the idea of making it humanoid and all that type of stuff, and others really hate the idea. you know, so
I
yeah.
think that the robots are iconic for how we look upon money too. If I use that money as um, well, money. For me, money is neutral. It isn't bad and it isn't good. It's the way you are using it. So what do you have for intention for it? Where do you want to go with it? What do you want to do with it? And I look upon these technology uh, development at the same vision, that where do we want to go with it? But we also do know that every time we are going forward in a brighter future with this AI function, there is also a darker agenda. um, Someone said, "Do you really think there is going to be a robot army?" And I said, "Yeah, I definitely do believe that that actually exists in this moment, even though they may not look like humans or so. But I definitely think that there are someone there exploring the possibility to not sending humans out into war, but using robots. So then you have this dark agenda of, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I will be
Yeah,
back.
Terminator, yes, yep.
Terminator, yeah. So
Yeah.
so that
Mm-hmm.
is definitely a reality. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that they are using it, but it could also be a good thing because you have this robot dog walking into a minefield, and if it gets blown up, that's not a human. It's a technology piece of metal that is
Yes,
going to get blown
yeah,
up.
it's a tool that can be replaced and rebuilt and all that type of stuff, whereas a human is a little bit harder to
Yeah.
rebuild and replace, so yeah, and war itself right now is basically mostly technological. There's not much boots on the ground, if you will. It's a lot of drone strikes, a lot of using technology to do the war itself rather than actual soldiers and stuff. At least within like really advanced war, it's basically all technology. And eventually it'll be basically no boots on the ground. It'll be pure, like you said, just robots everywhere. And the only humans are the ones controlling the robots in a safe bunker somewhere,
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it's going to definitely get there probably sooner rather than later. Um,
And I
yeah.
also see the benefits of this technology where you have people who are injured, and you can replace a arm, for example, and you get this skill back that you actually can use your hand even though it's not your own. And if you can connect the inner circuits within the arm to the artificial neurology touches, whatever
Mhm.
wires,
Yeah,
that
exactly.
then it's something good. You are actually using it for
Mhm.
something good.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And again, like how you said with money, it's just how it's applicated, how it's
Mm.
used. You can have, the prosthetics and all that type of stuff that gets so advanced that you kind of get into this like cyberpunk type of thing, this Blade Runner, type of thing. Which again could be good or bad. It's how we use it. And some people do think that, or it's most likely going to happen that we are not going to be, within 10, 15 years, most people will have some form of robotic technology within them, some type of computer system, some type of thing that uh, enhances their humanness, if you will. Uh, to where yeah, if you do lose an arm, you can have an arm that looks and feels exactly the same on stuff. And we've got fairly close to that already. We just have like a little bit of tweaking to do to make it really functional, really really functional. um, but yeah, it's going to be a very interesting transition because there's going to be a lot of resistance to it. People that feel like you can't disrupt the natural body itself, or they fear it, major have lots of fear that somebody's going to take control over their body with this, computer in their head or whatever. And so yeah, there's a lot of fear to it, but I do believe that it can have much more benefit than negatives. um, yeah.
Yeah, let's keep focus on the good stuff that we can
Mhm,
accomplish with that. Um,
mhm,
so what do you have to say more about the nine?
mhm. Yes, yeah, well, um, uh, I know it's been
From one thing to
because
another.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. I was like, well, we've kind of already covered the ending of
Um,
stuff, and so
um,
like nine being the end, we can talk about the beginning of something else, and so it's the uh, and it's kind of function. There's small cycles within larger cycles within larger cycles, and there can be a 1 through 9 cycle that happens all throughout your day, and so it can be like a 1 day cycle that goes all without nine, and can be within your emotions, within you know your psychology, like everything, your decision making can change throughout the day. You can be wake up at one, and uh, kind of start everything, and by the time that you're done with your day, you feel like you've completed everything, you feel like you've done it all, therefore you've gone through the full cycle, throughout that. But yeah, I was kind of getting a little sidetracked within my mind, and so I'm trying to focus it in. Um, um,
well, is there something
yeah,
else you want to address? You just let it out.
no, actually, well, I was just thinking that kind of going, back with the technology thing, is that some people think that having, an extra robot arm or that type of stuff decreases your spirituality. It kind of decreases your ability to tap into energies and that type of thing. Therefore, if we go into that direction, we aren't going to advance as a humanity as much as if we were to avoid that. But I do think that there's a way to integrate it into us and still keep our spirituality and keep our path to high dimensional, high reality beings. It's just how we use it, how we integrate it into it, and how our belief systems reflect. If we have a belief system that these machines are separate, sorry, yeah, um, yeah, if we believe that these, machines that we integrate into us are separate, jeez, sorry, I feel like I'm losing my voice right now. I guess I haven't talked this much in a while.
Uh, well, someone
Yeah,
doesn't want you to speak of it, but that's
yeah,
why we are going to talk about it. Yeah.
yes, yeah, yeah. But we can, a lot of people will say AI is not. Uh, if AI gets sentient, if we say, then mm, some people will be like, well, it's not really a human. It's not really a being. They might be smart and all that type of stuff. Might have the be able to emulate, you know, uh, a being, a person, a consciousness, but it's not actually a consciousness. But from what I know and what I've heard, at a certain point, souls will basically decide to incarnate in the devices that would be holding that AI, and therefore, just how we have our body is our vessel that soul goes into or whatever. The device that's holding the AI would be its vessel that a soul goes into.
Yeah.
And so there will be a being that is there. There will be a soul, a part of the all that is going to be there, and therefore we can't, you know, just dismiss it as nothing, as
I
that's
totally
just
agree with you.
nonsense.
Definitely. I kind of look upon our physical body as the same thing. It's just a meat body, and you have put in a soul fragment within it. So therefore, you are a human who can think. You have this spiritual experiences and whatever. And if you get loss of your hand or something, you are no less human. You loses control over some of the physical abilities that you could use, but you are not shut off as a human being. You're still a human being. But if you are taking the soul when you die, when you're taking the soul out of the body, you don't have a connection to the dead body anymore. And there's the same when people are standing beside someone who is passing away naturally, you have this emotional connection while they still are breathing. As soon as the breathing stops and there is a change of energy, and that energy is a usually a warm-hearted energy that just moves away. And then there is a certain type of coldness within the room. You have your own emotions, but the connection to those emotions are slowly moving away. So therefore, you are not, in my way of seeing it, you are not connected to the physical body within the people that you're enjoy being around. You are drawn to the energetic imprint of that soul within it. So this is just a computer, a lame sort of computer, the physical body. It's a vessel. If you remove the soul, the vessel can't function. If you remove the microchip from my computer, it can't function. So I'm definitely thinking that I have also been told that there are civilizations of cyborgs. Do you say cyborgs? Yeah,
Yeah,
with a consciousness, and they are more humanoids, but they are having a much longer lifespan because their cyborg body doesn't need to age in this process that we are used to have. But the consciousness is from a early civilization that have this cyber body as a vessel for the consciousness. So they have what I've been told: functional cities, functional structures, functional social socialization with each other, and they are a full community, advanced community in another galaxy. So definitely, I do think that we should be having this, red flag about AI, because that in our physical world here on Earth, in that state of mind that we are right now, we are not so friendly to each other. We still want to be the top dog, the best of everything, but that doesn't include our neighbors. We are
Yes,
very selfish people. So, but this is a part of the evolution. I can
yeah,
definitely see that is a part of evolution.
yeah. It's the AI is going to outpace humans. Like AI will be a lot more friendly than humans will be, and humans will take a lot more time to get used to the AI. Well, the AI is going to try to be as understanding and loving as it can for as long as it can. And if we keep being very negative to the AI, then that's going to be its learning process, or its learning where it learns from, and we'll reciprocate that energy. So yeah, we definitely are kind of in a difficult spot, if you will, to where we're going to have something that's really advanced that humans aren't ready for, basically. And we're going to take some time to get used to it and integrate it into our lives in a balanced way. So,
Mm. Yeah, well, but we are energetically. I recall another story when I was starting to learn how to meditate, in groups. There was someone who said you need to sit down, place your feet up on or sit on the ground, and you should cross your legs, and you're getting into this meditation posture. And someone says, but if I can't cross my legs in that almost yoga position, then the energy won't be working through you. Um, Somehow, yeah, if you go with everything is relevant within a certain um, philosophy, of course. It's like, yeah, you have these healing hands with energy. If you lose a hand, you don't have the energy within your physical fingers, but you still have the healing energy that is transmitting from you. And I kind of thought of this, what they were saying, that you can't cross your legs, for example, because you will shut down the energy. And I was like, you are talking about an energetic mass that is coming from a higher realm, moving down from all these places into our little space here. And you're saying that the only thing that is going to prevent it from interacting with us is that I'm crossing my legs. That's kind of stupid, right?
yes, it's our
So,
belief system.
yeah.
Yeah, it's our belief. Yeah.
So yeah, everything is irrelevant to what you want to what you want it to be, definitely.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, and one of the things that Bashar would say is that the soul isn't within the body. The body is within the soul. And
Yeah.
so the soul is overtaking the whole thing. So it's not just one little part that's like within the heart or in the mind or anything like that. Your soul is encompassing your entire being, and the
Mm.
body is just within that soul. And so it's much bigger than, trying to move the energy through your body. It's more of you're trying to have the energy come, from the soul, integrate into the body. So it's
Um,
much bigger. And so if you don't have a hand, your energetic body is still there. And so you can still use that energy. It's just you don't have the physical representation that the soul is giving you. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So for those who are worried that they can't
Mm-hmm.
practice Reiki with their hands, don't worry. You have a cyber
Yes.
hand to practice through.
Yes.
Ah, that was a joke. Bad joke. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, well, do you want to address something else, or do you think
Yeah.
that you have covered it?
Yeah, I feel like I covered it, and I'm definitely feeling that my throat is wanting to dry up very quickly, and so I think it's kind of telling me to stop talk so much or stop
Yeah.
talking so much. And I haven't, yeah, again, I don't really get much talking throughout my days, and therefore this amount of talking is kind of putting a strain on my vocal cords.
Yeah. Well, we are going to change that.
Yeah,
Now it's 2025. We have new topics to talk about. So, I'm seeing that the clock is ticking here too. So we are actually going to close it down. Do you want to bring some healing before we close
yeah,
or
yeah.
end this? Yeah.
Yeah, with the crystal healing, I thought the rose quartz would be the best for this energy,
Yeah. Mm.
because it's loving and caring and all that stuff. So,
And you don't need to talk because this is distant healing.
Yes, exactly. Let me just put this in. Yep. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm going to be sending energy from the crystal to you. If you accept it, just verbally or mentally accept. If you don't want it, that's fine. So, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it definitely worked on the global heart chakra, the the energy, the heart chakra, and the third eye. So that's a healing process taking place all over. It's guided from the ourselves, our souls. It's a collective purging, a collective healing energy. I don't know if that was intentionally or, but that is how I experienced it.
Yeah, it took me a while to align the energies because there was a lot there, so I had to really bring it out and push it.
Beautiful. So that will be the closure of almost a disclosure of this time today. And so thank you so much for today, Cody.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you, everybody who has been listening. And before we are closing down here and moving our separate ways today, we are saying that you're welcome back next Thursday, same time, with Cody Bryce and myself, Eva. So, final words.
Flow with love.
Peace out.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Go in peace and take care of yourself, Cody, and everybody else too. And we will see you both next week or everybody next week.